Hello, this is Wesley Fryer, and in this screencast I'd like to explain a technique you can use to post a new audio recording recorded with an iPhone onto a sound blog that you've created using WordPress. So the blog I created recently for ambient audio recordings is called Sounds of My World, and you can find it at sounds.speedofcreativity.org. If you click the About link on this page, you can get a couple other links that might be helpful. This is a self-hosted WordPress site. You can use WordPress on wordpress.com, but there are some limitations to plugins and things like that you can do over there. The plugin that I'm using is free, and it is called the Blueberry PowerPress podcasting plugin, and that allows me to post, as you're going to see here in just a minute, a direct link that has a little embedded player that looks nice. But before I show you these steps, let me mention that there's a much easier way to do this, and you can use a free site on the blog posterous.com like Australian educator Jess McCulloch is doing. Jess has posted here a photograph of a recent scene where she recorded some audio using the application AudioBoo. She's also, in several cases, just emailed the file directly to Posterous, and so that really is the fastest way to do this. I have been using this free application called iTalk Recorder by Griffin Technology on my iPhone to make recordings, and what we're going to need to do first is get that recording off of my iPhone and also a photograph that I took that we'll post over here onto Flickr. So what I want to do first is get that photograph off of my phone. If I click on the photo roll or the photos, I can scroll back here and find this picture. I can click in the bottom left corner for this particular photo, and I could choose to email this to my Flickr site if I wanted to use the custom secret email address that Flickr will provide you. I also, of course, could plug in the iPhoto application and use that to sync this photograph. But what I'm actually going to do is go to a folder that I have on my iPhone called Upload, and I'm going to select an application called PixelPipe, which I'm not actually sure if this is still available on the iTunes Store. You know, there was a point where it was removed because they were doing things, I guess, that Apple hadn't approved. What this lets you do is select images like this and upload them, and what it will actually do, you define the targets where you want images and video to be uploaded, and it can upload to multiple targets simultaneously. So you could upload to Facebook and Flickr, or Flickr and YouTube. Of course, different sites have different restrictions. Flickr only lets you have videos that are up to 90 seconds long. YouTube has a restriction of 15 minutes, so just kind of varies. But in this case, I'm just going to PixelPipe to upload. So that photograph now is on my web page for Flickr. So over here on Flickr, when I update or refresh my page and it reloads, you can see that I got it on there twice. I just wasn't patient enough, so I'll go ahead and delete one of these, and then I'll go into this most recent one. And what I'm going to do here in a little bit to get this image is I'm going to go ahead and copy the embed code. You can see that we've even got the location right there in downtown Portsmouth where this was recorded. So I'm going to be coming back to get this code in a little bit. But now I need to get my audio file, which is over here on the iTalk Recorder application. And if I go over on my iPhone to my audio folder, you can see I've got different apps, and here's the iTalk application. The one that I want is the second application. It says Portsmouth Band, and if I click on it, you can see that that file is actually 12.7 megabytes, and it's an AIFF, which is an uncompressed audio format. That's a really big file. So if I click in the upper right corner on the publish or share button, it gives me a choice to share with email. However, I'm using the free version of iTalk, and it restricts me to only emailing audio files that are less than 2 megabytes in size, and I don't want to buy the pro version. So there's a couple different options for how I can get this file from my iPhone to my computer. One way is I could use a free application that Griffin Technologies provides called iTalk Sync. And if I'm connected to the same Wi-Fi network, I can go ahead and copy it over. But what I'm going to actually do is launch my iTunes application. I'm going to select my iPhone over here on the side under Devices. I've selected Apps up here at the top as my menu choice. Pardon me. And then as I scroll down, I can click on these apps that have file sharing, and I'm going to select iTalk, and I can see that here I have my Portsmouth Band audio file, and I can click Save To and actually put this on my desktop, and it will save that so that I'll be able to use that file and do things with it. So I've now basically used iTunes as a conduit to copy that file off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use an application called Switch, and I don't think I loaded this one up in advance, so I'll just Google for Switch software real quick and bring this up. Switch is a great program. It's cross-platform. It works on Mac and Windows, and it does audio conversions. And this audio file is over 12 megabytes in size. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drag this file on my desktop into the Switch application. I'm going to select the output format I want, and I've already selected MP3, which is a compressed file. This checkbox is selected, which will output it to the same folder, so it'll just appear on my desktop. And now I'm going to click Encoder Options, and I am selecting a 64 kilobit MP3. When you're getting a music file from iTunes, it's going to be recorded at 192, 128, probably 192. And for a sound file, you probably don't want to go below 32. Audible and audio files will go down to 16 kilobit, but when you've got music and sounds that you want to enjoy the full, range of, you don't want to get that low because it'll be a small file size, but you'll lose a lot of quality. So I'm going with 64, and I have the stereo encoding set to mono since my iPhone does not actually record in stereo, so at least I don't think it does. So I'm going to click this lightning bolt icon. Switch is going to just do a compression of the file, and we're going to see here in a minute that that is a much smaller file than 12.7 megabytes. So I am now ready to go over to my blog, and I'm going to actually create a new post. And so since I've logged into WordPress, up at the top I can say Add New and click Post, and I'm going to be able to do my new post. I'm going to call this Portsmouth Street Music, and I've already typed, I guess I didn't save it. I had typed before a little a sentence just to describe this. So I'll say, this musical audio recording was captured on the streets of Portsmouth, New Hampshire on September 25th, 2011. Now, something I've been doing to basically give people a chance to find out some more information about spots where I'm recording these audio files is I'm putting a link to their Wikipedia article. So I've just quickly Googled for the Wikipedia link to Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I am going to make Portsmouth, New Hampshire a link here on my post. And you can see that it's put that in as code. I could have been working here in the visual version of my WordPress dashboard, but I've switched over to the HTML or the code view because what I want to put below that sentence is this code for this Flickr image. And so I'm going to copy that either by pressing Command C or Control C or using my right click button to copy, and I'll go ahead and paste that into my post. Now if I'd wanted to, I could directly upload that picture to my blog, and that would have the advantage of folks who can see my blog should see that picture. The way I'm doing this here, if Flickr is blocked at your school or location, you wouldn't be able to see this picture, but this is kind of the way that I've been doing these posts. I am going to directly upload the audio file though. So now above my WordPress dashboard here, I'm going to click the icon that looks like a musical note, and that is to upload audio. It's going to give me the choice to browse to my computer, and so I'm going to go to my desktop and I'm going to browse to this Portsmouth MP3 file, which you can see here is only 1.2 megabytes. And when I click open, WordPress is immediately going to start uploading that to the web. So that's been reduced from a file size of 12.7 megs, which is just gigantic, to a little over 1, which is 1.7. That's still big, but it's certainly a lot smaller. So I'm going to highlight that link, and I'm going to actually copy it to my clipboard and save these changes. And so now I have the direct link to that audio file, and what I can do, since I'm using this PowerPress WordPress plugin, is it has a little space here for podcast episode. I can paste that direct link, and I can click this button which says verify, and the plugin is going to fill in the the size in bytes of my file, and it's also going to automatically fill in the minutes and seconds, the duration of my little audio recording. So I'm going to click the link here that says this was in the city and that this was music, and if I wanted to, I could put in posts, like I could do Portsmouth, and I could do New Hampshire, and I could do sound or whatever, add those as tags. It's kind of optional, and then I will click the publish link. So now this post is live on my blog. If I go ahead and click at the top to view my blog, you can see that I've got my title, my little audio, or my one-sentence description with my link to Wikipedia. Here's the photograph, and I won't play the whole thing, but I'll play just a little bit of this for you so you get a flavor. Woo, so that was quite fun, quite a fun little audio recording, and those are the steps. So I know that's a lot of clicks. That does not support the ethic of minimal clicks, but if you want to create something similar to this with WordPress, hopefully that gives you an idea of some available apps, software, tools, and things like that that are available. Last thoughts, remember that Posterous.com makes this a whole lot easier, along with apps like AudioBoo and Cinch and SoundCloud. So, consider just doing this with a Posterous blog instead of making it more complicated if you want. I'll also remind you that my website playingwithmedia.com is available, which has lots of other ideas for not only sharing audio but also images, digital text, and video. And the website share.playingwithmedia.com has a lot of examples of student projects using audio and these other tools, and you're invited to share your own examples of student work, of course with parent and student permission. And I'm running a monthly promotion where you can win some kind of technology tool for your classroom and enter a drawing by sharing an example of student work. So hope that's given you some more food for thought and ideas for creating a sound blog and sharing audio online. Good luck and have fun playing with media.